How was everybody's WWDC? That's it? Just like lukewarm. Y'all are just tired at this point? Well, thank you for coming. This is our second live show since WWDC moved to San Jose. We're glad to be back here in the Hammer Theater with their awesome crew and amazing venue. We've got a lot of stuff planned for y'all tonight. Someone asked me earlier how we're going to fit all the topics into tonight's show, and I answered them truthfully. We're barely going to cover anything. So one quick announcement. I know the robot voice told you to turn your phones off or whatever, so here's the deal. I need them to be muted, please, but at the request of Federico Vitici, have your phone handy because you are going to need internet access during the show. Unless you're unfortunately on Sprint or T-Mobile, you should have LTE in the theater. Any Sprint people? Really? Come on. But there is public Wi-Fi available as well. But if you're on LTE, do that so we don't crush their access points. This is where I get to introduce two of my favorite people in the world, guys that I've done this show with for like 120 years, it feels like. Please welcome Federico Vitici and Myke Hurley.
Wow.
What up?
Can you believe that this many people will come here to hear three guys talk about the Mac Pro? There should be a podcast about that.
Yeah, that would be good. Like a good hour of discussion about it.
Yeah.
Should we do that? We should talk about that.
That pans out because I happen to have one. There we go.
Very nice.
Is that trash? Is that a trash can?
No, that's a computer.
Sure?
I had one. It was a trash can.
I want to throw in it.
No, don't do that. Let me turn it on here. There's a hand crank in the back. Give me a second.
Okay.
You can go in and get...
Hand cranks on technology are all the rage these days. So... Oh, there it goes.
It's booting.
Are you actually turning it on?
It kernel panicked when it booted earlier, so we'll see if this works.
This is literally his show notes are on this. So we have to wait now. You really should have turned it on when you came on stage.
Do you know you could have used a real computer, right?
Yeah, we're going to sit here with the computer of the future.
I left my Newton at home.
That really is the computer of the past now.
That is very sad. That's a sad setup.
Our show document says, Secret Federico segment, not the surprise.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Do you want to take it away?
Well, last year we were here, and I gave you all some details about this very beautiful location, the Hammer Theater.
I remember.
And we talked about the name, Susan Hammer, previous mayor of San Jose. And I only mentioned in passing another person.
Okay.
The person who gives the name to the place where, developers among us have been waiting in line for the bathroom all week.
Oh, now I know you wanted pronunciation.
Tom McHenry.
Thank you.
Gives the name to the McHenry Convention Center. And I would like to talk about him for 5 minutes, if possible. For context.
Is he here?
He's not here.
Okay.
I can assure you that he's still alive. He's very busy.
Right now?
Until we get to the end of this really brief segment,
okay.
I will refer to him as Mr. Tom.
Is there a reason?
I want you to know that Mr. Tom is known for many things.
Okay.
He's an author, he's a businessman, and he was the former mayor of San Jose from 1983.
Wasn't Susan Hammer a mayor as well?
They had more than one.
Did they name every building after mayors?
Hold on, every mayor here gets a building.
Is there Mayor Original Joe?
Huh?
Is there Mayor Original Joe?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, we can find out next year, I guess.
Tom McHenry served as the mayor of San Jose from 1983 to 1991.
Okay.
So I did some research around this, and apparently he led the explosion of growth of America's 10th largest city.
Okay, is
San
that
Jose.
this one? Okay, cool.
So I double-checked because, the population of San Jose apparently is 1 million people.
Where are
all these people?
Where are they? Not downtown.
They're definitely not here. So I wanted to make... Apparently the Wikipedia data is up to date until last year. So
Maybe they all moved in the last
I have
year.
no idea. The very famous website, the San Jose Mercury News, we all know about the Mercury News, right?
Are they GDPR blocked? Did you struggle with that?
I actually don't know.
I bet they are. It's one of those websites.
They referred to McHenry as the most powerful person in Silicon Valley once. Forget about Steve Jobs.
That's not right, is
it's all
it?
about
That's
McHenry.
not right.
And according to the Metro active website. McHenry loved being the center of attention.
Okay.
I don't know anybody like that.
McHenry had very peculiar...
He's talking about you.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
That's the joke. I got that.
Okay, good.
McHenry had very... McHenry had very peculiar music taste. He really
you know
liked,
this?
He really liked... I did my research with my real computer,
Did you
not
go
that.
to his house?
No.
Okay.
He liked the Eagles and U2, so he's basically got the same music
peculiar?
taste as Tim Cook, essentially.
I think John Syracuse as well.
Hold on. McHenry wrote a couple of books.
All right.
And so I went to read his interviews about these books.
You say he read the books.
No. Can you imagine that? And he said, and this makes me feel very bad,
All right.
that he sold hundreds of copies
Oh, no.
Wait, where did he say that?
in an interview.
Why would you say
He
that?
was so proud of it,
Oh,
but he
God.
said he wished he'd applied more. Yeah. He used to be a bartender.
Was this after the book sales?
I don't know. I think in his youth.
Okay.
And I'm quoting here.
Okay.
A lot of people said they weren't sure I would be a good mayor, but they wanted to get me out of bartending because I wasn't any good.
Why did they name the convention?
McHenry also was a radio host.
Okay.
He was a podcaster,
I guess.
in a way.
Sure.
And I hear that he actually came up with the concept of follow-up.
Oh. Wow.
Not somebody else.
Does that come from your research?
McHenry pioneered follow-up.
Wow, it does say it in
San
his
Jose
documents,
radio.
so it must be true, I suppose.
The thing about Tom is...
Oh, is he lost the mister now?
The thing about Tom is the nicknames.
Oh, nicknames.
Last year, I revealed how people used to refer to Tom as Big Mac.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out he had more
Okay.
nicknames.
Little Mac.
But really, the nicknames go way back in the McHenry bloodline.
Okay.
His grandfather...
You do know this is a technology podcast.
Hold on. I'm
We're
at
not
the
doing
end
any
here.
of that.
His
I'm gonna
grandfather, Ben Sellers,
What?
San Jose councilman,
Okay.
was known as Honest Ben.
Okay.
His father, John McHenry,
This
was a member of the Truman administration,
Okay.
was known as Big John.
Big John.
Big John.
He had that Big John energy to him.
Stop it.
The good old BJE.
Stop.
Tom McHenry was also known as the Maxter,
The Max, the... Oi.
but others...
Isn't that your nickname? We could go with that, right? The Max?
Other people,
No.
because after he was succeeded by Susan Hammer. But he kept talking about being a mayor and running again. And so he kept showing up in these articles and these stories and these radio programs.
Yeah.
And so the other nickname that Tom McHenry had was Timeless Tom.
Timeless Tom.
And
That's
so
a
that's
good
my
nickname.
research.
Thank you
We're
so
done.
much. Thank you. Is that a new catchphrase for you? That's my research? You should go with
That
that.
should be a...
They could put
like
that
a
on
jingle.
t-shirt. That's my research. There we go. So,
Do we have an actual show?
follow up? Big Tom? Big
Follow up.
Tom's, what was it? Wait, what was
Big
his
John.
name?
Big
With
John.
Timeless Tom's,
Timeless Tom.
Timeless Tom's topic, otherwise known as follow up. Stephen, how was your first keynote experience? Congratulations.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Yep.
I got an invite the week before. These guys know this. I thought it was a phishing attempt. So I copied the link and opened it in a private tab. I swear to you this is true. And then checked the security certificate. I was like, I'm going to enter my Apple ID, and then Russia's going to have it. And you don't want that. Not picking on Russia specifically. It's just...
No, you are.
I am. No, it really was amazing. I've watched these things, or paid attention to them before you could watch. Remember the days like you're refreshing like Engadget and like stories are coming in and the site goes down. Like, what's happening? It's all just happening in person now for me, at least for this year. And it really was incredible. And I was joined by David Sparks, who is here somewhere, my co-host on Mac Power Users. He is also his first time. And it really was special. It's something I'll remember for a long time.
Now you get the fear for next year.
I know. I'm just gonna like close my email for like the 2 weeks before WWDC.
Don't do that.
It's fine.
We've got a business to run. Don't do that.
Oh, whatever.
He never checks his email anyway. I am a smart battery case believer now. That's a
are you?
follow-up that I have
Really?
to give. Yeah, it's timely. I figured during our WWDC episode, I'll talk about smart battery case a little bit.
Sure. Why not?
So during
It's a thick case.
you got it's very thick. Stephen changed his phone. So in the case of changing his phone, I had an extra battery case, and you gave it to me, and I've been using it.
I'm a good friend.
Yep, I've been using it for the last few days.
I took
like
it out of your cut of the company profits that month.
Okay, I can't get a pop socket to stick to it because the phone is too heavy now. That's my only down.
No, here's the thing. You haven't tried hard enough to get it to stick.
Okay, maybe I could super glue.
I know how to weld.
We could weld on it.
Is it safe to weld with like a battery 2 millimeters?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Fine.
I don't like the fact that my phone's always charging in my pocket, though.
Because of fire?
Just yeah, I don't like that.
Are you just afraid of your pants combusting?
I don't
in flame?
know why it has to always be charging. Like whenever I look at it, it's
ABC.
charging.
Always be charging.
That's why it is. All right, I'm done with follow-up.
That was very on topic.
Yep.
WWDC
Yep.
batteries, yeah.
The smart battery
Good
case.
job. Good
You
job.
just spoke about a mayor.
That gives the name to the convention center.
We're not in it.
Show some respect for the city. Not just because you come from Europe, you can just come here and disrespect Americans.
Wait a second.
Actually, he's not going to be from Europe much longer.
Thanks so much, everyone. Why would you do that?
That
I
was so
needed
good,
to even out the Russia thing, so
That didn't do that.
Fallout.
Okay.
What is Fallout again?
We have some Fallout. Fallout,
Created by Susan Hammer.
Susan Hammer had this idea to talk about other things before you talk about your own things.
Yeah.
Because that's just what we do here now. So a couple of episodes of things that you should check out.
Why are you surfing on the web?
I have to
right now?
scroll.
What are you doing?
On Upgrade episode 248, Jason and Myke spoke the afternoon of the keynote. I always love this episode because you get sort of the gut reactions and you find out how wrong you are about everything later. Yep. Because when you're here, I mean, you guys know this, right? Like you see
not
somebody
doing
in the
a good job of like.
It's a really good episode. You should listen to it.
It's all wrong, but listen to it anyway.
Jason, I can see Jason.
Yeah, I
He's
heard
very
him.
unhappy with me. It's a great episode. I also want to point people to Mac Power Users episode 485, where David and I interviewed the Mac Pro product manager from Apple. We sat down for about 45 minutes, got some really interesting stories about the Pro workflow team. And my favorite tidbit from the Mac Pro, which we're going to talk about basically for the rest of the time we have you here, is designed to be used.
Everyone just left.
I can't see. They could all
I
be
heard a
gone.
lot of shuffling at that moment.
It's designed to be used in the field by real video professionals. And so they said, well, what happens, it's got wheels on it, which is amazing. What if someone slides it down the ramp on the back of a truck? You know what I'm talking about? On a moving truck, they have the corrugated metal ramp. And so they wired a Mac Pro up with vibration and G-Shock sensors or whatever and rolled it down a ramp.
I don't think they needed to do that.
But that's why it's a good computer, because they didn't need to, but they did it anyway.
Is that why it took 2 years?
Yeah, maybe they had to rent a truck, and so I can't find one.
Can you roll that down a truck?
Hey, this
On
would
its
roll
side.
really well.
Too well.
Too well.
What you got going on?
You got anything?
So, if I were you, I would keep an eye on Mac Stories tomorrow
Okay.
morning.
You
Pacific
setting up that
time.
interview that we did?
Huh?
Where you speak to me? Is that the one?
Yes.
Okay.
Mike and I talk about.
From our hotel room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever connect it without me?
No.
So yeah, I'm just something tomorrow.
It would be of benefit to you all. Do that.
I mean, your homepage is all set to Mac Stories, right? Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody does that.
Do you need to do anything now? or can
No,
we
just
move on?
Stephen, can you open your notes app, please? And during the episode, I will be asking Stephen questions and everybody else questions, I guess. And I would like you to just stay here,
Where was I going to go?
quiet.
Oh. Well, that's difficult.
Okay, I have notes open. I have a title called Federico Surprise, which sounds like a website I don't want to visit.
It sounds
Stephen,
like
what
a
is it?
dessert.
Stephen, what is the American city with the most ridiculous take on pizza? What would you say?
Am I saying what you would say? Easy.
All of them.
Take
No, but
that,
there's
Tucson.
There's one in particular that they call it pizza, but
I wrote it down. Do you want to know what I wrote?
yes.
So I wrote it down, but I could have just told you.
Yeah, no, just tell me.
Chicago.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey, don't even try. That's not pizza.
oh God.
That's
I
something.
don't want to turn our show into this debate.
This is not what you're supposed to write down. I will tell you what to write down. What did we do in Chicago 2 years ago?
What did we do in Chicago 2 years ago? Like why we were there?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, good job.
Peanut Gallery.
No, just don't write it down. I will tell you what to write down.
We were there for release notes.
Okay. And we did a live show.
We did.
What story did I tell on that live show? For the first time.
I know.
Okay, you can talk.
The bee story.
Not that one.
That was here.
Oh. The bakery story.
The baker story.
What would you call a person that works at a bakery?
A baker.
But if you were to, yes, but instead of a baker,
This isn't going as you hope.
how would you make it more cool? With the baker, right? Write that down.
The baker?
The baker.
The baker.
We can move on.
Your surprise sucks.
Wait, you're surprised at Chicago the baker? Is that it?
Write down the baker,
Okay, I wrote it down.
and we can move on.
All right.
For now.
All right.
Talk to you in a bit.
Okay.
Wait, you are still on the show, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
On last week's episode, we did our annual WWDC predictions. We're going to grade them this time. And a reminder of the rules, we offer no half points. We only offer full points at Connected. We have a risky pick section. Where
Ricky pick.
Ricky picks. That started as a typo, and now it's the name of the
That's
segment.
the name. Ricky's. The Ricky's.
If you get a Ricky right, you get 2 points. And if your Ricky is wrong, you lose a point.
I am imagining characters now, Ricky Right and Ricky Wrong. What do they look like?
Ricky wrong is in like all leather, and he has an earring.
Oh, he's from the bad side of the tracks.
Bad boy Ricky.
Oh, I like him.
The other two hosts have to agree that your pick was risky,
Ricky?
and we had an order set by the March event predictions
Which
where
I won.
Can you
Mike.
believe that all these people came here to watch me win?
Mike got to go first.
Honestly.
Yeah,
There are prizes involved in this that are here.
Where?
You'll know soon enough. So, round one, Michael, you said dark mode for iOS.
I got that one.
Got a point.
Yep. It looks
Mike.
good. I haven't really seen it. I've seen a little bit.
It looks good, semicolon, I haven't actually seen it.
I haven't seen too much.
I'm going to revisit that.
I like the way that the dock looks. I like that kind of stuff.
It's a good dark.
Yep. It's a good dock. Have you? Wait, none of us are running the beta, right?
No.
No.
Not yet.
No. It seems like it's been heavily advised against. What is this? Like some little warning.
There's a warning that says, attention for thrill seekers. Please do not install the beta.
Please
I highly
don't.
recommend that you
Please
for the
don't.
public beta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I felt pretty good about that. That was an easy one.
Yeah, I think it looks nice. I played with it on an iPad, and in between reboots and crashes, it looked great.
And there's really a lot of work that went into it, like in terms
The
of...
ultimate dark mode is a crash.
That's true.
Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I had to say that joke.
No, that's a good joke.
Okay, thank
You did
you.
a good job there.
Thank you. Do you have anything more on dark mode?
No, I just wanted to say something serious, but now you kind of ruined it.
All right, great.
Moving on.
Okay.
I said that iOS 13 would change system requirements, dropping devices that were supported by iOS 12. That is correct. Past Stephen did not put what devices in his document, but it changed.
We do not prepare correctly.
So, Peanut Gallery, what got dropped in iOS 12? Underscore squeaked out 5S, 6 Plus.
I
So
think underscore's been partying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An iPad Mini 2, 3, and the original iPad Air.
So basically, like, all of the stuff that they updated, which we were surprised about.
So that's A7,
Not surprised
A8
about.
in there. So they're gone.
Yep, they're all gone.
Bye-bye.
So point for me.
Congratulations.
Good job.
And you got?
New Animoji.
Okay. Did you get any of the ones right that you predicted that it would
What
be?
did I predict?
I don't know.
We also didn't write those
You
down.
think you said mouse, and there is a mouse.
There's a mouse.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, and there's an octopus and something else.
Cool.
And something else that
Is that a rat?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
It's just a mouse, but zoomed in.
Yeah, and there's the new Memoji too, which there's more. I like the AirPods. That's fun.
Yeah,
I
the
think that's funny.
customization looks really fun.
Yep.
I cannot wait to make a mic with blue hair and a lip ring.
Yeah, I was really excited about because what I thought Apple was showing me is that I could literally replace regular emoji with me, and you can't technically do that. They have it so like in some apps, the stickers that you create of yourself show in the emoji keyboard, but they just paste in as images, which is the worst bait and switch of all time. And I'm so mad because they're like, oh, it's in the emoji keyboard. Yeah, but it's not emoji. You can't just put anything in there.
And if you
be
put
like,
them,
oh, it's in the emoji keyboard.
If you put, I played with it in the Notes app, and the emoji are small and the stickers are enormous.
Jeez, fail. It's a failure.
Are you the kind of person that puts stickers as images in a note, Stephen?
No.
Is that your attempt at
I am
being
not.
young? And like that's not where you're supposed to put stickers.
Yeah, you're supposed to send them to your friends.
Yes.
He uses Bitmoji now, though.
Are you
Finally
printing
broken
those
down.
stickers, Stephen?
Huh?
Like, do you put them in a note and then you print the note, and then you cut them?
I'm going to fax them to you after
You're
the
like,
show.
you're like put it up on the wall, be like, look how young I am.
Okay, round 2. So round 1 is a tie. I have one.
Oh, yeah.
We all have one.
All
That's,
the points.
that's
Even
what a tie
though
means.
even though I had the most correct one, but, you know.
That's not...
So I am very
It's
happy
debatable.
because my second pick is my vindication for having lost the upgrade draft on the same point, but I was a little bit more vague with this one, so I got it. Apple will mention Apple Arcade again during the keynote.
Which they did with controller support for Xbox and PlayStation, which is awesome.
I'm so happy about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the beta. It's on iOS. There was a tweet going around of someone playing on an iPad with a PlayStation controller. It's awesome.
I like that Apple have finally decided to give up on the MFI controllers. That's what they've done.
it never took off. What was the steel case?
Steel
one?
Nimbus series.
I bought one. I used it once, and now I think it's like holding up furniture in my house. Like it's never been used again.
Wait, no Pro Controller, right? Why
Not
do they
the
hate on
Switch Pro
Nintendo
controller.
so bad?
I don't know.
What's wrong with them?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I wonder, they mentioned the Xbox One S, but I have an Xbox Elite controller.
I have an Xbox Elite controller too.
Yeah, because I'm a big
Because that's
boy.
the kind of people we are, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like
Will it work
$150 that
with all
controller.
those switches and
I don't know.
things?
Well, I guess
Do
we'll
you
find
ever
out.
use them?
Hey.
I used
No one cares about video games.
no, sorry.
No, you don't care about video games here.
I use them sometimes. Well, I use like the trigger adjustment.
Yeah,
because
just
it's
turn your
way-
chair. Don't.
Okay, it's way nicer like to not have to pull the trigger the whole way down. And I also like that if I get bored, I can just because it's all by magnets, I can just take the joysticks off if I
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can go back to the show.
we can carry on now.
Sorry, Stephen. Sorry, Dad.
My next pick.
Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Dad.
Apple replaces at least one bundled macOS app with a Marzipan or now Catalyst version.
Well, you said marzipan.
Oh,
This is very debatable.
as
now.
it's written, right? He's making a real face. All right, sorry. Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
Point.
What app did they replace? Reminders, right?
Wait.
Reminders is, I believe, replaced. Podcast.
Podcast
Well,
was not an app before, so you can replace something
and
that doesn't exist.
there is evidence that Messages has been redone, but they didn't mention it.
Okay.
We're going to call it a point.
And we're cool.
Are we? Are we?
Yeah, I think we're gonna.
Can you replace
Hey,
something that doesn't
hey.
exist?
Do we want to have this conversation when we get to your Ricky? How picky do you want to get on the Ricky?
All right, fine.
Federico
I'm the victim here.
Federico over there.
Conspiracy going on, even on stage.
Federico nailed the next one. iOS gets expanded font support. This is
That's
actually
how
really,
you do a pick.
really cool. It's going to be through the App Store.
You didn't think that. There's no open
Well,
API. Is there an open API for a phone
The App
picker?
Store people didn't think that. So,
It's kind of interesting that they're selling them, right? Like,
No, after we did this episode, I really thought about how would you get them on, and the store was the only obvious answer to me. They don't want you like dragging in a true type font
I
from
think
Dropbox.
there's gonna be a screen in settings though that lets you preview those fonts.
do you think,
Do you know?
or do you have a strong idea?
Is there a word in English for somewhere in between those two types of feelings?
What you just said.
Yeah.
Like, you said the English words. Somewhere in between.
Yeah, somewhere in
You
between.
did it. Good work.
Yes.
Is there an English word for somewhere in between? Did you think you were talking
like
Italian?
the Germans, like they have a single word for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
what would you
that.
say in Italian, though?
I don't know. I don't know.
What, you don't have
Italian
somewhere in between in Italian?
anymore. Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not. Like,
Just
I
say
don't
it
know.
anyway. I want
I
to
don't
hear
know.
it.
I don't know.
You could make up a word and no one would know.
Yeah. No, somebody will know. There's a few Italians here. Is there any Italians here? Good job.
Wait, one person said
One
yes.
said
They were
yes.
a liar. The other person said C. They also may have been a liar, but they said it anyway. So they.
I got this. There's an API for apps, so that if you have a font, you can offer that font to the system. There's a font picker.
Oh, like you were saying, like a Photoshop, right? Were you saying that? No, Jason said that.
Or something like IA Writer has their own bundled fonts. You're saying they could offer those to other apps in the system? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Interesting. That might be a way to get
You can preview those fonts.
Huh.
So.
Okay.
Cool.
Great.
That's all good news. So at the end of round 2, we are tied. Very interesting. Anything else with fonts?
No, I mean,
I had to wait
fonts.
for the tab to load for the ad read.
It takes a long
There's
time.
a new Apple font which is interesting. I guess.
What is it?
What is
Apple New York.
Really?
Yes, it's a serif font. I haven't installed it yet, but it's on the developer website.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're gonna do the whole. Maybe they'll do Apple San Jose at some point. It'll be just one character.
Big. It's just all big. Because there's no one here. It's just an ellipses. That's it.
And you can only use it during the day because
It closes down at 9.
After 9 p.m., the font just stops. Okay. This very special episode of Connected is brought to you by AstroPad Studio. AstroPad Studio turns your iPad into a completely customizable graphics tablet. It's a high-performance tool for the most demanding creative work. You may have heard some news that Apple has decided to dabble in the connected workspace domain, so bringing their devices to do things together. But the makers behind AstroPad and Luna Display, who are in the audience tonight somewhere, hey! One of those guys was the guy who said C earlier, so they understand that every creative pro has a highly individualized and unique workflow. This is not something where one size fits all. And that's why they've spent the last 5 years building products with rich features and low latency. It's amazing. It's like the things are glued together. It's so fast. So while Apple's Sidecar may scratch the surface of Mac and iPad shared workspaces, AstroPad Studio goes all in on bells and whistles. And if there's nothing that us nerds like, bells and whistles are like what we like the most.
I will say I am a fan
bells.
of both bells. Do you prefer bells?
Yeah.
You're less of a whistle guy. I'm more of...
I'm so sorry about your ad read. They've designed AstroPad from the ground up for professional artists. So if you're ready to take your workflow to the next level, you can start your free trial of AstroPad Studio today. Visit astropad.com/try to get started.
It's packed full of features too, like magic gestures and custom pressure curves and unlimited per app shortcuts.
Did I skip a line?
Yes.
I'm so sorry about your ad read. I'm fired. So head on over to astropad.com/try. That's TRY. Our thanks to AstroPad Studio for their support of this show and Relay FM.
Let's talk about the Rickies.
Yeah, let's talk about yours.
Cursor support for iOS.
So this is one we should say that at the beginning part of the week, we thought Myke had missed this. Because when you're here, news comes out over...
Well, it wasn't in the keynote
Yeah.
or anything. You know, like it wasn't on the word cloud. It didn't exist.
That's right. You know, Federico didn't use a mouse with a shaky hand. We didn't know it was here. But it came out that indeed iOS has cursor support.
I know gave you the idea for that pick.
You.
So
Where'd you
in a way,
get
it's
it?
also my point.
Where'd you get it?
That's not how this works.
Where'd you get the idea? Okay.
So how does it work? How does it work in iOS 13?
Bluetooth, which I was pretty surprised about. I kind of always figured it would be USB only, but it also works with Bluetooth.
I think we said there may also be Bluetooth, and it turns out yes.
Yeah, I just figured it was less likely, right? Like that because it is an accessibility feature, so you have to enable it in accessibility settings.
So you got to go in Assistive Touch, enable pointing devices, and when you have Assistive Touch turned on and you connect a trackpad or a mouse, the little Assistive Touch thing will become a cursor.
But there's So that's amazing. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about putting my iPad in a stand, which I do all the time. And now, instead of reaching out with my Apple Pencil to tap things, I can use a mouse, I can use a keyboard, and it's great. And I love to be able to do that stuff with my preferred operating system, right? Like, I use my Mac that way, and it's great for ergonomics. Sometimes my iPad is not so good for ergonomics. When I don't want to use it in a laptop form factor, I want to be able to use my preferred operating system in many different setups so I can always be comfortable.
Federico, do you think this is something that will become some accessibility features get used by lots of people because it tweaks something about the system that a lot of people think should be the default? Do you see this falling into that category where people who don't necessarily need it for an accessibility point of view will use it because it makes iOS more useful or faster or something?
Yeah, I think Apple was sort of caught by surprise by the response to this, and they like to remind us that it's an accessibility feature, that it was not designed to be bringing mice and trackpads to the iPad. But I think it's the kind of feature that will be used by folks who don't necessarily need it, maybe for the primary reason why it was designed.
I think it is the right thing to do to introduce this as an accessibility feature, so it doesn't completely break the idea of touch devices too soon.
Yeah.
Right? That, they kind of can stage out a little bit. But there is something additionally interesting with this. You can program mice buttons to do things. So obviously you want the left click to be tap, right? Wild otherwise. But you can have the right click bring up the dock, or you can use the scroll wheel to go back to the home screen.
And you can actually assign buttons to running shortcuts.
Yes.
In iOS 13 and iPadOS.
Yep.
Is anybody from Shortcuts here?
What? We love you.
Yes.
But that is incredibly exciting. So if you have, what kind of shortcut do you run? Maybe to start time tracking, you could right click and it would just automatically fire your time tracking shortcut. We have stuff more that we want to talk about shortcuts later on, but that is just I love that feature. Nobody needed to do that, but I'm so happy they did. So I'm really excited to play around with that.
So you got this point.
I really got that point.
You got your
Big
2
time.
points. It's a Ricky.
So I am
4
4-point mark score. I'm the winner, right? It was first.
We have
4 points. That was
No.
Oh, all right. Well, I got all my points.
My risky pick was one.
Ricky.
Ricky. Time for dinner.
Ricky.
That sounded so strange. Ricky.
Sometimes when we do these predictions,
Somebody who's called Ricky is listening right
They're
now,
very
and they're
upset
like,
with
what?
us.
There is a Ricky in the audience, and they're pointing at us.
sometimes after we do these, we hang up the Skype call, and you just have a sense of dread that you really blew it. And this is where I was last Wednesday. We hung up the Skype call. I get some lunch. I'm editing the episode. I'm like, past Stephen, you really messed this up. And not so much that I would alter the integrity of the show and change it. I didn't do that. I did think about it. It's like, could I slip one in and they wouldn't notice?
I really wish you would have done that.
Mine was the HomePod would gain multiple user support via voice detection.
Well,
You were chronologically the first person to score your Ricky.
It was very early on. As soon as they mentioned the HomePod, I thought, I've got this. Because why else would they bring it up? Because they sell 2 a month, and they're still too expensive. They sound great, it's fine, but as soon as they're like, and we have something for the HomePod, it was like a light from heaven came down on me in the keynote hall and said, Stephen, my son, you are correct.
Is the HomePod your dad now? Is that what that is? What I really liked when they show that off is that they had this image on the screen of a HomePod and a bunch of people's legs, they were sitting around it and looking at it, they were all facing towards it.
I mean, it's
who does that? Let's listen to the HomePod.
It's not the centerpiece of your home.
No.
you know what I want to do? I want to really sit down around the table and talk to Siri.
Yeah, let's have a conversation. All 4 of
What
us.
a nice
We'll all
plan.
add things to our calendars and it'll all go in the right places.
So productive.
So good. Congratulations.
So it's a shock to all of us, but I too have a perfect score.
Good job.
Federico,
Yes.
would you like to go through your pick?
My Ricky was Apple will bring back some kind of...
Some kind.
Yes,
I
that's
just
what
like
it
the
said.
emphasis. I enjoyed the emphasis.
Thank you. Of app, quotes, app list / launcher UI.
It is in
element.
quotes in our document.
UI element on iPad.
Okay.
Now, I know why you think this is debatable, so I'm going to make my case for
Okay.
why. You can have multiple apps in SlideOver, and when you want to choose between them, there's an app picker just for those apps.
You mean like the multitasking view, right? Is that what you're talking
Yes,
about? With the
it
app
looks
picker?
like that.
Okay.
There's also in SlideOver, if you want to put in SlideOver an app that has multiple windows, and I sent you screenshots for this, there's a vertical element that shows you all those windows on the side. Same for split view. If you want to put an app that has multiple windows in split view, there's a new UI for those windows on the right side. So it may not exactly be what I had in mind, but it's 3 things. So really, if you do the math, 3 sort of, it's like 1 yes.
Wait. What is that math?
If you don't give me this point, I will call the police.
So I think I don't want that to happen, first of all.
I would like to report a conspiracy.
I think the language that saved you is some kind.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, I
shouldn't
think
have let
we
him
should
put
have
it in.
pushed you to be more
9,
specific.
1.
And we shouldn't have let him use the quotation marks.
Don't you actually don't
do
that.
Give me the point.
He actually typed it in. That's a terrible idea.
We're not doing it because of this, because I'm not letting you set that precedent that every time you want something,
Give me
try
the
and call the
point.
police for it.
Do it.
No, we're not.
Do it.
We will not have that in our household. You will
right.
not do this. We're going to give you the
You
point.
are not my father. He is.
We won't. Look, just please.
Look at it.
Please just delete the numbers from your phone. We're going to give
I
you the
got
point.
3. Okay.
It's got nothing to do with. Oh my God, he nearly pressed it.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I think there's some kind of. I think it saved you, and that's really on us. We should have made you be more specific, and
We've
you
all
will
learned
not
lesson.
get away with this again, young man.
We've all. So
Wow.
we had trophies
What a
to
victory,
give
huh?
to
Well,
the winners, and we have
Trophies,
we had prizes,
prizes,
we had things to give to the winners. We have a 3-way tie.
But we need to come back to this. We're just going to leave that hanging because we have some non-graded picks we need to deal with.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we non-graded is sort of a misnomer
Because now we're grading it.
because now we're grading it. So the new rule is that the loser has to buy drinks.
Yeah.
And so these picks were supposed to be non-graded, but now they're graded because Federico has to bet on everything.
Yes.
Apple does some new stuff with Animoji to make it more like Bitmoji.
Yes.
Check.
Some new stuff.
That's how you got your Ricky.
I'm going to call the police.
So here's the thing about my non-graded picks. I pick the same things every time because at some point I'll be right. That did not happen to me this year. I said that Mail app would get modern features like snoozing.
It didn't get anything, did it?
No, it got something.
What did it get?
What did it
You
get?
can drag the composer around, make a new window. And
That's not.
So it
but
got
that's
what
not-
iOS 13 brings.
That's not what we're thinking of. I think Dan Morin told me it gets multiple colored flags now.
Oh,
No, that's not
a
something
modern
to be
feature.
excited about.
Modern feature.
You have
Oh,
a rich
no, it's
text
like an old
composer.
thing. It's already on the Mac. It only exists on the Mac. So
You can mute threads.
muting threads is
I would
not
say
what we were
nobody does
thinking
that.
of. That's
Hey,
not.
hey, look, it's non-graded anyways. Can I please just have it?
Wait. Yes.
No?
I still lose.
Yeah, because he'll still lose. We can give it to him. He'll still lose.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. As long as you
So I get a half point, which we don't award to a non-graded pick, which we don't grade.
That's how it works. Yeah, you got a half point for this.
All right. Federico, what was your next one?
There will be changes. See how precise and surgical I can be? There will be
It can
changes.
be. Not on your Ricky though.
Do I need to unlock it again?
Oh God! Please put your phone down.
There will be changes to the... Give me my phone.
Okay.
There will be changes to the drawing sketching interface used for screenshots, notes, etc. Maybe it'll even be... You just wasted my iCloud storage.
Taking selfies,
I want money.
changing your
iCloud.
wallpaper,
Maybe it'll even be an API.
texting your mom.
So I got Pencil Kit, and I got the new drawing interface that you can drag around.
And this is an awesome deal, right? Because
Yes.
we've all used drawing apps where their pencil support lags behind, literally lags behind.
Hey-o.
But,
Hey.
I was talking today to to some developers that they were just about to release their own custom drawing
Oh,
interface
no.
before. They were working on it.
Hey, it's
but
better
Apple
to have it before, right? Like than to finish it and ship it and then have to change it, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
Sure.
you can throw away some code and do it again. So
But it's exciting.
it's very good. And
Do you get the sense that that will be something that a lot of drawing apps, like, say, the Paper app, for instance, who have invested a lot in their own drawing mechanisms, do you think they'll just swap it out, or do you think it's going to be like a slow process?
I don't know. It's like
I feel like if you are an actual note-taking or drawing-focused app, you should be doing something in that world that makes your app different. Like, I feel
But
like this is
also-
something to add to apps that would also like to have.
I don't know how customizable it is, but
That's why, right?
the Apple version does a lot that you get for free, and the performance is like it's a lot of work.
Right,
to
but
make
like,
a sketching interface like
If
the one
you
that
are
Apple has.
Notability or GoodNotes, like your whole app is note-taking, right? Like, you want to have more features possibly than what Apple provides.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
We'll see.
We'll see.
I would be surprised if we see like actual drawing apps,
Like GoodNotes or whatever.
or like Procreate. Oh, not Procreate, but like something a
why
bit
is
more
the
simple.
last
Evernote.
bit not assigned to me?
Huh?
No, you got it.
It's not green.
Yes, it is.
Google Docs on the iPad is
All right.
bad.
Well, we'll come to what framework.
It's not green for me.
Well, look, that's because it hasn't. Because you're not connected to the internet. What do you want from me?
Next, Myke.
Jeez,
You got a huge win for USB drive lovers everywhere.
external storage support on iOS. Now the Verge and Gadget and Federico and Jason Snell won't complain about it anymore in their reviews. That's kind of. I
that
just want people to
sarcasm?
stop talking about it. I just don't want people to talk about it anymore. That's all. I'm done with this. Move on.
You got the point for something that you don't want.
Not a point.
What I wanted
that a point
was
even?
to not have to hear about this complaint.
New
anymore.
rule: to get a point, you should.
No,
be
that is not a
passionate
new
about it.
rule. I am. No, my passion comes from the other way. I just really don't want to hear about it anymore. That's my passion.
You hater.
I want to spend some time this fall seeing how far I can push this. I have a lot of zip disks laying around, and I'm just wondering if I can
What's on them?
assemble the right chain of dongles. Can I take something out of my G3 tower?
We're going to have
and
to
put it on
go
my
to
iPad?
the old town of Dongletown. Old Dongletown.
Ye olde dongle
Ye
town.
olde Dongletown.
My next one is my
I told
annual.
you not to do this.
I know,
But-
but I really, if there's anyone listening who has any power, this is all I want. iOS 14 could be nothing but this, and I would be happy.
No, you wouldn't.
I use the Mac. iCloud family photo sharing. Let me paint you a picture. Some people have other people in their
Is
lives.
this gonna take long?
You read about the mayor for an hour. Some people have people they care about in their lives who they want to share pictures with. And you're doing it via iMessage or AirDrop. This should just be in iCloud Photo Library. We've talked about this forever. Jason's talked about it. So much of iCloud family sharing stuff is really kind of half-baked. But this is just missing entirely. And it seems so obvious to me, especially this year. And look, the new Photos app looks amazing. All the stuff they're doing to surface old photos and context-aware stuff, like if I'm searching and hiding things. Oh, that looks awesome. But I still can't very simply share 30 photos I took at my kid's birthday party with my spouse. And that just seems like something Apple would be really into.
Can you give me my phone back?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't particularly want that feature, but I understand.
You have someone in your life you care about?
Yeah, but we don't want to share all of our pictures of each other.
Not all of them. I mean, there need to be controls, but look at the way Google Photos does it and just do that.
But isn't Google's thing like you do share everything?
There's lots of options on like who's in the image and
I just don't really think I want to do it.
you just uncheck. Anyway, some of us do want it. Okay. Federico.
Improved support for zip archives in the Files app and framework. And of course, you had to make the deep and open framework joke.
Deep and open
Deep
framework.
and open framework.
I got all of this. You can compress files, you can unzip archives, and it's all right there. Files app, document browser.
What's the framework? What's the zipping framework?
ZipKit.
Is there a
in the
framework?
Files app and framework.
What
so
framework?
If the Files framework.
You can
Sounds
zip
mad.
things.
It is English.
You can zip in the files framework?
Yes.
Can you? Can you zip and unzip in
my
not
phone
outside of the files
Give
app?
me my phone.
You're not running iOS 13
He's
on
going
this.
to call the police again.
Give me my phone.
Don't, no, you're not going to take it because when you say it like that with that look in your eye, I'm not going to give it to you. Right? Because you look really angry, and I can't see how that's going to go well for anyone.
Federico, no phone time till bedtime tonight. So, the non-graded picks didn't go well for me. And I believe I owe the two of you drinks.
Yep.
Yes.
Not all of you. Don't get excited.
What is the fanciest bar in San Jose? Do you even have any?
We'll work it out later on.
Cool.
Let's ask the mayor. So we do have a tie. We have a three-way tie.
We need to fix that.
I have a proposition,
Okay.
but before we get to the proposition, let's thank our next sponsor.
Oh, that's good. We're going to leave these people in suspense is
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
Is it less suspenseful when I draw attention to that?
Yeah.
Okay. This very special episode of Connected is brought to you by our friends at Mac Stadium. These are the people who provide Apple Mac infrastructure as a service. No. What are you doing?
Says he needs it for his surprise.
That wasn't true.
I think Mac Stadium...
Wait, what was that?
Was not true.
I think Mac Stadium's here as well.
Start again.
Somebody?
Start again.
Anyone? All right, I'm going to start this over. Future Stephen, fix this edit point.
No, don't. Leave it in.
Well, now I said it.
Leave it in.
It's live.
Take out when you said fix it.
Own your mistakes, old man.
Now you got to leave that part in too. How many levels down?
I was telling somebody today,
See, now you're telling a story.
and it was the honest truth 3 hours ago. This is my favorite thing I get to do all year.
Yep.
And you guys are really taking that away from me.
Wait, aren't you celebrating your wedding anniversary this week?
It's the same week.
It's the same week? You're referring to the week? By the way, can we give a round of applause for the Hacketts who are celebrating their wedding anniversary this week? I made it better.
I believe 37 years of marriage.
It's really good. They look so young.
Good job.
Yeah. Most wedding anniversaries, I spend it with these guys and not my spouse, but she came with me this year, which is awesome, so thank you for coming. Mac Stadium, though.
No worries.
Mac Stadium's really great.
Okay.
No matter what your needs are, if you need a single Mac Mini, so Relay we have a single Mac Mini at Mac Stadium. Sometimes I see pictures that they post of their Mac Mini racks, and I think, my son is in there somewhere, having his own life without me. Or if you need a fully scalable Mac private cloud, Mac Stadium, they can do all of that and everything in between. They can help you move your iOS and Mac app development out from under your desk up into the cloud. Mac Stadium has years of expertise doing this with companies like Box, Shopify, and Pandora, and they have over 3,000 customers worldwide. And this week, Mac Stadium is officially announcing, I can't pronounce that word.
Orca.
Orca. I wanted to say
K.
okra because I'm from Tennessee, but that's not right.
Orca.
Orca, like
With
the
a K.
whale. But with a K.
With a K.
So not like the whale.
Like orca.
With a K.
Not like the whale.
It's,
I'm so sorry.
Is this from a movie?
No, because it's got the thing.
it has it's the latest cloud solution for Mac clouds.
Yep. Get ready for this next sentence, my friend.
You know, I was at the talk show last night, and Gruber read this sentence,
And you knew it was coming.
and I knew it was coming for me,
And you're not ready.
and I'm not ready.
But give it a go anyway.
It's a lot of
Come on.
Kubernetes.
Yeah. Read the whole thing. That sounds good.
Orchestration. Orca. I did the wrong way
Read it
around.
in the wrong order. Read it in the right order.
Orca stands for orchestration with Kubernetes on Apple. And it's a way to use these commands that do really cool things.
Can we just
I've
give
been
him a
told.
refund? At this point,
You've said it out loud now. So.
we'll talk to them later on.
Okay. So you can use these commands to create and orchestrate macOS VMs on genuine Apple hardware. And now Apple has some really fast hardware to do this on, which is awesome. And Mac Stadium is going to be ready for that too.
Yep.
So if you're building apps for the Apple ecosystem, you can learn more about their infrastructure. Just go to macstadium.com/relayfm. Or if you're here in town, or if you're not in town and you want to fly to San Jose in the next 2
Speak to
days.
Mac Stadium. They're really nice people, so you might want to do that anyway.
Yeah, so if you're somewhere out there, buy a plane ticket, come to AltConf. They're hanging out there all week. Or if you're on the web, again, macstadium.com/relayfm. And we have a special offer for our awesome Relay FM listeners. Mac Stadium is offering 2 months for the price of one on their Mac Mini subscription. Just use the promo code RelayFM, all one word, when you order. My thanks to Myke and Stephen for their support of this show and all of Relay FM.
My thanks too.
All of our thanks.
All of our thanks.
And your thanks.
Yes. Okay, so we had said that if there was a tie, we would do what we did last time and flip a coin. Problem is cannot get a three-sided coin.
Well, I couldn't find one on Amazon Prime, at least.
Couldn't find a three-sided coin. So I have two propositions to solve this. There is the tournament and the knockout.
Can you explain the difference, please?
Yes. Tournament version, you two, one-on-one. Then the winner goes against me.
Wait a second.
Why are you special?
Because I get advantage as the winner of the last one.
You got your advantage by having the first pick in all of those rounds. Your advantage is over.
All right. Knockout version.
Okay.
We keep flipping
Can we
until...
hit each other in this version?
Keep flipping until there's one man standing.
Ooh, that sounds good.
We just keep flipping.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Could take 20 minutes.
That sounds great.
Okay.
I think we need a judge.
An official adjudicator.
I think we need some outside help. So please welcome to the stage Jason Snell.
Hi, Jason. So we rehearsed this a little bit earlier on, and we came to the harsh realization that Jason Snell cannot flip a coin. Like it is, I've never seen in my entire life somebody attempt to flip a coin in the many ways that Jason attempted to flip a coin.
It's like I've never seen a coin before.
Yeah, it was.
It was sad, is what it was.
He just kept throwing it up into the air, and he kept dropping it, and then he couldn't pick it up. It was like a whole thing.
And this was the excellent, I think, still on sale Relay FM Challenge coin.
Yes, where can
Nice.
people go to get the Relay?
And
FM?
we learned something important
Okay.
about the Relay FM Challenge coin when I finally did figure out how to flip it, which is I flipped it 10 times and it came up heads all 10 times.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I could have used this information for evil. Oh, my God, that was so loud.
Like, wait,
Sorry, Marco.
Don't make sounds like that. That was really
Give me the
scary.
Give me the point, Jason.
I think we should talk more about USB file access in
So we
iOS.
can't use the coin. So we've decided that Jason is going to ask Siri.
Yes.
Yes, because none of us can be trusted, so we have to bring somebody
we
else
trust
onto the
Siri?
stage to ask Siri.
So how this works is you're going to let each of us select our heads or tails,
Correct.
and then you will ask Siri to flip a coin.
Yes. And then Siri and I will eliminate at least one of you.
So for instance, just so we're all clear, if I say heads and Siri says tails, I'm out.
Yeah. But we can all say the same thing, so
And
it's
we
gonna
can
go on
all
for a
be
long
out.
time.
Yeah, we could be here for hours if you
Well,
just
we do have a
saying the same
contract
thing.
saying we have to leave.
This could be the rest of the episode.
That's fine. There's nothing else happened this
Yeah,
week.
we'll just keep doing it until we get to the end.
Okay, so round one.
I think we should go in the round-robin style.
No, that's too, we're
Look, it doesn't make a difference. It's 50-50 anyway.
then
So
why do it?
round one,
'Cause I wanna be
Myke
first.
is going to get to go first because he had that slight advantage. I know, it's hard. And then Federico is going to go first.
No, he was third.
Well, he's going to
Jason's
go.
making up his own rules. He's
All
gone
right.
rogue.
Myke, heads or tails?
Heads.
Federico?
Heads.
Tails.
Okay. Bold move.
Can you show me the version that you're running? Is that official software?
It's not a beta. Hey, Siri, flip a coin.
It's tails.
Oh. First place.
I did it in one? I was hoping for a little bit
First
more drama
place.
than
So now
that.
we have to choose who's.
Oh, yeah, now we get to go, because now,
Yes.
who's second?
It's the battle for last now. Yes.
I was really hoping it was going to take
So
longer
it's
than
me
that.
against you?
It's me against you for second. I will not lose again.
Federico, heads or tails?
Heads.
You just say, hey, you want to say heads or you want to go for tails?
What's the time? Obviously, we'll go with tails.
Hey, Siri, flip a coin.
It's tails.
Yes! You lose, baby!
This is a travesty.
Yeah, well, no
Congratulations.
toilet
Stephen.
for me this year. Thank
Jason
you, Jason
Snell, everybody.
Official coin flipper of the Connected podcast.
Myke,
Yeah.
Stephen, open the notes app.
Oh, here we go.
We have prizes. Well, things.
Well, we got to go back to the surprise again.
Just a second. Myke, which phone do you think the baker uses?
An iPhone 6.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter. I was just, just wanted to know.
Oh, okay then.
Where do you think the baker likes to share his photos of his bread?
Is this still for me?
His baguette, his pizza.
Federico. WhatsApp? Like, is it like if we were
Publicly.
Facebook? No? Is that a no or a yes? Google Plus.
No, I mean, it's the obvious one. Come on. Share
Twitter?
pictures?
Instagram.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
I'm young. I know
He's
what
the old
Instagram is.
one. So when people appreciate a photo on Instagram, what's it called?
They like it.
So they give you,
Likes.
write down likes. We're done. What do you have so far?
Chicago.
No, just that was not the baker.
The baker likes.
Cool. Thanks. Moving on.
I've never been more confused about anything in my life than what you have done to this podcast.
Is Chicago needed?
No, he wrote it down because he couldn't understand his own.
I have some awards to give out.
Yes.
Hey! Stephen reaches under the table. Oh, he's getting up now.
Is it good?
This is still an audio podcast at heart. Oh, it's a big wooden box.
Oh my God. Is that?
Who is this for?
Is that
First,
someone's
second, or
ashes?
third? It's impossible to tell. It's a big wooden box, and it says Macintosh Plus on it.
On gold inlay.
Yep. Who is this? First, second, or third? Did you buy a present for yourself? Did you and Jason collude?
Someone will have to write a report about that.
What is this?
In third place, we have Federico Vitici. And losing is a very stressful thing. So you have a classic Macintosh stress ball.
Oh my God.
I would wash that before you use it.
Oh, no!
No. Is that from that person that I looked up and I found him in a voter registration database?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Basically, Stephen sent us a photo.
Why'd you let me touch it?
Ugh. It's kind of yellow and stained.
Just like an old Mac.
Stephen sent us a photo of when he bought these trophies. He sent us a photo of this box. And on this box was a label. And on that label, so I zoomed into the picture and there was the name of somebody. And so I looked it up, this person's name on Google, and I found his address. And he's a registered voter, so he's a good U.S. citizen. And I kind of wanted to call him, and I wanted to pretend that was Amazon or eBay actually, and be like, "Hey, I wanted to check on your there was a problem on your shipment, and I wanted just making sure what was in the box." But then I didn't do it. I wanted to be surprised. So thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome. Please don't let the dogs eat it.
Why is it called Smack a Mac?
I don't know.
It's got a kiss on it, too.
Zim Computers.
I let John Syracuse borrow it earlier. I don't know what happened.
What is
second place? Second place is better than third place. And I feel like second place really contains all the emotions of winning and losing.
Yeah.
So second place gets this lovely box, and you think it's just a whole other
come
prizes.
on. This isn't fair.
It is a floppy disk holder.
I can't get this home.
You got
This
the
is
box?
clearly the third place. I have now this huge wooden box to deal
But
with.
think how many floppy disks you can store. I can't get the little things back
I
in.
feel like you were always going to give yourself what you wanted. Because
I kind
last
of wanted
year,
the box, honestly,
why don't you take it then?
because it's the second place
I
prize,
can't
and I'm a
believe that
winner.
it was actually a conspiracy against Mike
After all this time.
all along.
So
Well-
you get a lovely, I
No,
think,
you get it.
handcrafted box.
You
that
get it back.
Macintosh Plus.
You get it
inlay
back.
on the top.
I'll take the dividers. You can have the box. I can't.
Congratulations!
This will not go in my
I have a
suitcase.
Mac
box.
Pro to get home.
There is no way.
You can do it. The thing is, pack all your socks inside of it. That's how I did it to get it here.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
All your pens.
I don't know if my suitcase is literally deep enough for this.
You'll figure it out. And first place, I thought, should have something to commemorate the news of WWDC, of the Mac and the iPad coming closer together. We have apps that can run on both.
We need an adjudicator for prizes next year. You can't be trusted to buy prizes anymore.
Jason Snell's agreeing with you. It's very troubling.
Because you can just buy whatever and assign it to yourself in whatever order you want.
So first place, I thought, should commemorate
You just buy the things you like.
the things that happen at WWDC. So this is a 3-part gift. It's a
Is it? How?
Give yourself 3 gifts.
There are 3 of us.
It's a 3-piece enamel pen set. One, I couldn't find an iPad, so it's an eMate 300.
Exactly.
Pen.
Because it's what you wanted.
It is a pen with the Macintosh with the rainbow.
Finally
Apple
enough,
logo.
what you would want.
And then a really nice gold pen with the rainbow Apple logo on it.
Isn't that strange?
I didn't know I was going to win. Frankly, after my HomePod pick, I thought I was doomed. But here we are.
Conspired against us the whole time.
Yep.
Prizes did not go over well this year.
You and Jason Snell.
Look at the size of this box.
Last year, you got a toilet trophy.
But it was small. Thanks for prizes, Dad. Let's talk about the iPad.
Okay.
Let's talk about iPadOS. It's pretty great.
I got an OS. So that was a...
You didn't expect that, did you?
No.
No.
No. Not at all.
What I was actually the most surprised of anyone because I didn't know that it leaked out. I didn't see that because apparently it leaked like 10 minutes before and everyone on Twitter knew and I wasn't reading Twitter, so I didn't see it.
From a developer agreement. So
Yeah, like
lawyers,
so
they did everything.
I like screamed when it happened. I was so excited. I would never have expected this. I couldn't have imagined Apple ever doing it, let alone doing it now. So I think it's fantastic.
So, Federico, they forked iOS. So it is.
Did they? That's like question number 1, right? Like, what did they actually?
I don't know if they went in GitHub and hit fork or not, but what it effectively means is the iPad is getting features that the iPhone won't.
But you could make the case that was always that was already happening.
Oh, well,
for
sure. I
quite a
mean,
few years.
look at multitasking, right? That was
Exactly.
never going to come like crazy split screen business to the iPhone. But to me, at least, it's not so much a signifier of what's happened, but what will happen in the future. Because now, what happens at WWDC where they talk about tvOS and iOS and everything else and skip iPadOS? That effectively happened last year. It was like, oh, the iOS 11 stuff is fine.
Well,
Check back later.
maybe that indicates a sort of a renewed commitment.
I think it does.
Yeah, and I've seen folks get really upset about it's just a marketing name because they want to sell more iPads. Like this weird connection between.
All names are marketing names when you think about it.
And they do want to sell more things if you think about it.
Sure,
Think
but
about all of it.
I feel like there's enough. Like I like the idea of sending the message that it's a unique enough platform that it deserves having its own name, but it's still at the very foundation. Of course, it's iOS, and so I don't understand getting upset about the fact that it's iOS, but this iPadOS name is sort of fake and it's just for the show. I feel like
It's a good show.
it's a good show,
I'll watch that
and
show.
it's also like you get all these features, right? Multi-window, split view, and drag and drop, and the full-size keyboard. All of the things that the iPad has, and I feel that justifies having a separate, dedicated name.
Yeah, and I think deserves the focus that that name has to give it, right? Like as you said, you can't like say, oh, here's tvOS, we're going to do this, and then just not talk about iPadOS. There's 5 platforms now.
It is a lot, and that's a topic I want to get into later this summer. Of like, it's a lot of stuff going on. But as someone who the iPad is not my primary computer, I like this news too because it shows that they're willing to be bold with what they're going to do with the iPad. It felt for a really long time. I think it was true for a really long time until the last couple of releases that they had to play this balancing game between the iPad and iPhone, and I feel like Apple's kind of signifying, we can take those shackles off the iPad and it can become what they really want it to be. And that's really exciting because that's good for the rest of the ecosystem as well.
Is there anything about iPadOS that you specifically want to touch on? Like, what are the things that you are the most excited about?
Well, I think the multi-window stuff is really impressively done. I want to see how it shakes out in terms of discoverability, and this is something that was discussed on the talk show last night. For example, the idea of you enable all these features, right? You can have multiple windows for every app, and you can put the same app in multiple spaces. And you can have multiple apps or multiple windows for the same app in slide over, and you can cycle through them. And it's really quite the system when you look at it. And I think it enables so many new use cases in terms of not just seeing like 2 documents up on screen at the same time, but really like having multiple windows in different types of windows even, so slide over, split view, spaces, and you have expose. So I think it'll be really fascinating to see how developers implement that. Files, I was really surprised to see the extent that they went with this upgrade. And basically, I was going through my wish list again, and essentially everything was addressed. Column view, metadata, quick look, the quick actions. You have zip and unzip. You have folder-based collaboration. You have external USB and SD access. You have file servers. And it seems like so far it's only SMB servers. Ideally, it should also be SFTP and all that kind of stuff, but we'll see. What is
an SMB server?
Ask your friend.
What is an SMB server? Okay.
And then Safari really got this massive update that they did, this entire rework of what it means to have Safari as a desktop browser on iPad. You have all these websites that now work on Safari for iPad, from Google Docs to YouTube, and you can actually choose the quality of the video in YouTube in Safari now. You have Netflix working in desktop Safari. And it's not just that, but you got a download manager. You can actually, so this is something that I learned today. You can actually, when you download a file, you can choose if you want to, by default it goes into iCloud Drive /downloads, but you can choose any file provider to be your default downloads location.
Oh.
So you can put it in local storage, or you can put it in Dropbox.
Wow, the iPad's real good, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it nice?
It's been good for a while.
But it's getting like even gooder.
It's getting, yeah. And I'll tell you this, which actually, it's got all these new keyboard shortcuts. It's got this entirely reworked menu for Safari Reader and content blockers. It's been entirely rebuilt, and it's not just like flipping a switch and saying, okay, now it's desktop mode. But there was a lot of thought that went into adjusting the viewport for the iPad screen, all that kind of stuff.
How stuff like when you go on a website and you hover over a menu and a menu comes down, how are they dealing with that?
They try. My understanding is that they try to avoid leaving the page so that a tab doesn't actually navigate to that element, but shows you what the hover state would be. Sort of like,
how are they doing that?
It was a lot of work. or so I've been told.
Something in between.
Yeah, somewhere in between. If there was only a word for that. I want to talk quickly about shortcuts.
Oh, let's take a break. Let's take a break. Then we'll talk about
Let's take a
shortcuts.
break. Maybe I'll get this one right.
I believe in you.
This episode is also brought to you by Instabug, which is for all mobile teams. So think about your needs. If you need to accelerate the development cycle of your app, if you need to know which features need improvement, if you want to release with more confidence, and if you want to get detailed feedback from your users, your beta testers, or internal teams, Instabug is the best way to do that. And it just takes a minute to integrate into your app. And then you'll be ready to collect feedback reports, either automatically or when your app crashes. Not that anybody here writes an app that crashes, but say someone did. Instabug has got your back. And through your users sending you the information you need by simply shaking their phone, which now doesn't do undo, so that's freed up. Mm-hmm. It's good news.
Well, on the iPad.
So with Instabug, you'll be able to capture all the needed device details, performance logs, and the complete path the user took before experiencing the problem. I've been on the other end of this, beta testing an app. So I was on Casey's test flight for his app, and I ran into a little bit of an issue, and he asked me how I did it. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I was hitting buttons and something happened.
You tell me. You're the developer.
Yeah, you tell me.
Jeez, Casey.
Get on it.
God.
But Instabug lets you capture all of that data so you're not stuck listening to unreliable beta testers like me. With all this insight, you'll be able to fix those problems faster than ever. And Instabug can help you do more than this, though. You can survey your users right inside the app, and they do these in a seamless way, allowing you to reach out to users without annoying them. And Instabug integrates with all the tools you're already using, things like Slack, GitHub, Zendesk, and more. And there are more than 20,000 teams using Instabug, including companies like Reddit, Lyft, and PayPal. And they've got a special offer for connected listeners. You will receive their brand new t-shirt once you go to instabug.com/connected, sign up, and integrate the SDK before the end of June. So you have plenty of time. Everyone loves free t-shirts.
I do.
See? Everyone loves free t-shirts. Mm-hmm. So go to instabug.com/connected. Check it out. Our thanks to Instabug for their support of this show and Relay FM. So, Federico, tell us about shortcuts.
Massive update that sadly didn't get the time that it deserved in the keynote. And I feel like maybe not enough people are talking about this now, and it kind of makes sense because, the week of the conference, everybody's excited about the Mac Pro and iPadOS. But really, what they did with the Shortcuts app is impressive. So it's now built into the system, and it's got this whole new editor. So the way that you actually create your shortcuts, if you want to put together, a simple shortcut or a multi-step shortcut, the editor is all new. And it's based on this idea of getting rid of... There's a parallel, in a way, between SwiftUI and the new shortcuts. SwiftUI is pitched as a way to have way less code. And in a way, the new editor of shortcuts is a way to have way fewer actions. In the sense that all the previous input-based system, like doing the get variable stuff, that's gone. Basically every action now has a parameter. And that is a whole new deal with shortcuts in iOS 13, is to have a parameter-based system where in every action you can go in there and there's like a field and you can say, I want to have some text in here, or I want to pick a document, or I want to pick a location. And it sort of looks like a natural language UI. It reminds me of when in Fantastical, when you're typing out a sentence and there's all those tokens that sort of fly out because they're recognized. Yeah. When you're putting together an action in the new shortcuts, it sort of looks like that. You have this sentence that says, pick 2 photos, and, in a way that is structured that makes sense, visually speaking. Wow. And that saves a lot of time when putting together a shortcut. But that's not all, because this parameter-based system, it's been opened up to developers. And so developers can now, and this is what we were talking about, having a shortcuts API.
Is that like a deep and open framework?
Yes, exactly. It's exactly like a deep and open framework. The developers
I think that joke's so old, no one here got it.
No.
I feel very self-conscious.
Yeah.
John Voorhees got it. So thanks, John. The thing about parameters is that by having a Shortcuts API, even more so than before, if there's a missing feature from Shortcuts, now developers can come in and say, I actually offer this feature as a shortcut that supports input and output and that lets users define these data items, and that actually can support dynamic options. Wow. So that when you run a shortcut from a third-party app, and maybe that app wants to confirm something with you, it can bring up a list of items. And that sort of unlocks so many capabilities that were not possible before. So that's going to be super interesting to see how developers plug into that. But basically, it's a replacement for URL schemes. It's a replacement for those crazy clipboard-based hacks that folks like James Thompson, for example, implemented in iOS 12. So that's awesome. They're also doing automation in the context of you can now run your shortcuts automatically on a schedule. There's a bunch of triggers that we published on Mac Stories today. You can run a shortcut when you leave a location or when you arrive, when you connect to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and they support different types of execution. So some of them are automatic; they don't require confirmation, and some of them require confirmation through a notification. So something that I was thinking about today is Bluetooth is now a trigger. So when a Bluetooth device connects, run a shortcut. And the new accessibility stuff is also a series of actions. So there are now actions for turn on assistive touch, for example.
Yeah.
You see where this is going?
I do.
One of your concerns with getting cursor support in iOS, on iPad was, well, I don't want to leave assistive touch enabled all the time because it leaves that floating circle thing on your screen. But what if you had a shortcut that says, when this Bluetooth trackpad connects, turn on assistive touch.
Yes.
And by doing
it's like
that,
somebody thought about what I would want to do.
Yeah.
And then they fixed it for me.
Yeah. So automatic triggers going to be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're here.
Thank you.
They're listening. And finally, I want to talk about the gallery.
Okay.
They're even more so than before. The thing that they're doing in iOS 13 is really what should have been all along. There's no more separation between Siri shortcuts and custom shortcuts, in that all the shortcuts section from settings is gone. Everything is into the Shortcuts app.
Which is better.
You don't have to go in there and manage them or record phrases. You can just type a phrase, for example. All of your custom shortcuts automatically run when you just say their name. So you don't have to say, oh, this custom shortcut, I want to assign a phrase to that. Everything has been so much everything is so much simpler than before. And there's not only that, but because now Shortcuts is built into the system. So let's say that you're adding a Siri shortcut from pcalc, right? And you actually, James Thompson maybe has done the work to support parameters, but maybe you don't like the default state of that Siri shortcut. You can go in there, and before you add it to Siri, which, by the way, does not require speaking the phrase. You can just type the phrase. You can customize that shortcut before you add it to Siri. And the UI that you get, and remember, you're still in pcalc, but the UI that you get for customizing the shortcut is the Shortcuts editor.
Oh, this is cool.
So the Shortcuts editor is now a feature across the system because it's built into the system. So
That's awesome.
Thank you, Shortcuts.
Thank you, Shortcuts.
Wow. Go on, then.
A lot of episodes where we talk about shortcuts, you may imagine what I'm doing, and now you just saw it. I'm just sort of staring
blankly into the distance.
I got to play the Mac card just for a second. I know we're getting close on time. But spending some time with the Mac Pro this week, talking to team behind it.
Look at me.
It's not
I got to touch it.
I didn't know that you can't touch it.
Oh,
I was not allowed to touch it.
I got to look at it with my own.
I was walking out of the place, and some guy had his hand in a band and said, "What happened?" He said, I touched the handle, and they
closed it, and then all my fingers fell off.
Well, it was very messy.
Oh.
I think with the Mac, we're going to talk more about the Mac Pro. Of course, go listen to ATP this week. They did an excellent job, as you may imagine, talking about this. But the biggest thing for me with the Mac Pro is that Apple has put a stake in the ground, sort of back in the high levels of creativity and creative professional work. If you think about where the Mac strong suit has been, I mean, over the decades, in the 90s it was print publishing. Jason Snell's cranking out magazines on his, Performa or whatever. I don't know. Macworld didn't have much money. He just had a Performa. It was very sad.
2004.
And it moved to a lot of web design and web development later on. And now you do see Macs in these really high-end audio and video production houses. But people were stringing multiple Macs together. It was kind of messy. And Apple has solved that problem. That doesn't necessarily mean they've solved my problem as a podcaster or your problem as a developer, although I think the Mac Pro is flexible enough to meet many people's needs. There's obviously a larger conversation to have
price isn't
about the display.
Yep.
But wherever you land on that continuum, I'm just excited as a Mac nerd to know that they have something at the very high end to keep the Mac relevant in those markets. I may not play in those markets myself, but they're important for Apple to have those customers, and I think that's great.
It's also nice, if you use an iMac or even an iMac Pro, to know what the future is going to look like for you.
Absolutely. I mean, clearly things like Afterburner aren't going to come to the iMac Pro. I don't think things like the MPX, dual GPU module. They're not going to.
What if they just make the iMac really big, just really big,
like the eMac used to be?
It just keeps going.
That'd be great. It's on the desk. Who cares how thin it is?
Exactly.
But
it depends how close your desk is to the wall.
Is that a huge concern?
It would be if you had to move your desk.
How tiny is your office? Your office is named Mega Office.
I live in London, man.
That room.
The Mega's a joke.
So it's exciting to be a Mac user. I think even if this isn't the machine for you, and it's not for most people, honestly, I think that it's cool that it exists, and I can't wait for John to buy one. John looks very nervous on the front row.
Come on, then.
Stephen, can you go please sit in the audience? Take your phone. Go sit in the audience, please.
He's done with you now.
Do I need a microphone?
If you want.
Can I take one?
Yeah, sure.
I want to feel like I'm still a part of this thing.
Michael, close your iPad. So, Mike.
Yeah.
Why are we here? This week.
For WWDC.
Mm-hmm. What there's a conference going on, right? Mm-hmm. What does the convention center look like this year?
There's neon on it.
For what?
Emoji.
Dark mode.
Hey,
Hi.
this is my section. It's nice to see you out there, actually. He's a man of the people.
Somebody in the audience here today almost figured it out.
There's a lot of people out there, actually.
You mentioned emoji.
Okay.
Did we ever do an episode about emoji?
Yes.
Stephen, what do you have in your notes?
I have Federico's surprise, if you don't want to know what that is.
The words that you wrote down.
I wrote down Chicago, but you said that
Not
doesn't count.
Chicago.
Look, why was Chicago ever brought up? Is it you just wanted to just say the pizza was bad? Was that all that was?
Yes. I just needed to...
I have Chicago. I have the baker. And I have the word likes.
So we did an episode about emoji. What was that about?
Weird fish.
Write down weird fish. What do you have so far, Stephen?
Federico's surprise.
Chicago.
The baker likes weird fish.
Folks, it is time to open Safari.
Everybody in the audience and at home, right?
And at home, so if this was let's say, a place on the internet.
Can I open Safari, or am I still looking at notes?
Yeah, put it together. What do you think that goes? The baker likes weird fish.
.com?
Yeah, try .com.
The baker likes weirdfish.com. You could have chosen a
Can you
short
tell me,
URL.
Stephen, what do you see when you type that domain?
I'm still typing.
Yeah, they might not have got it right yet. The baker likes weirdfish.com.
It is the Emojipedia page for Microbe.
And what?
Microbe. And there's a link that says, connected listeners, here is your long-awaited surprise.
Click.
If I tap this,
Yes.
what happens?
Wait, did that go to Emojipedia?
Yes.
So Jeremy's involved. I'm going to tap on it now.
Don't say what you see. Just look at it.
Oh no.
Do I get to do it?
I get to do it.
For those not here, Federico is taking off his jacket. Mike looks...
He has so many bracelets on,
worried.
he literally cannot take his jacket off. Your jewelry has failed you.
Taking off his jacket.
I want you to look at my arm and see what I got. I've been keeping this a secret for 3 months.
So, Wait, because we need to go to the extent at which you kept this secret.
Hang on, Mike.
Was that a lie?
Yes.
He told me
Oh my God.
that he
You're
had
a
to
terrible
go
person.
to the doctor
Terrible person.
to get a skin biopsy. Right?
No, it's worse than that, Mike. He told us he was getting a skin biopsy to help future patients.
Yes. Federico
I am so sorry.
I love you so much. In case you have not been and seen this picture, Federico has the microbe emoji tattooed on his bicep. I love you. That's our show, I guess. I forgive him for the lies.
I'm so glad it worked.
Oh my God.
Do I step off the stage?
Yeah, you can.
Can you take me?
Go away.
You just go. Well, look at it again.
We're sending him away.
I haven't seen it. Let me see it.
Here.
Wow. You're still a terrible person.
All right.
Everybody give a hand.
Yeah, give him a hand. Wow. Whew.
I don't know what happened the last hour and a half. I feel like we should apologize.
Thanks for
I have like friends here from home.
Yep.
And I told them like we have this funny tech show. I don't think it was tech or funny. Very
people were laughing. I mean, they
At
might have been
us.
being kind, but they were laughing.
So a couple things to wrap up. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who made this show possible. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Astropad Studio, Mac Stadium, Instabug. Give them one more hand. I'd like to thank the Hammer Theater. Anthony and his staff here are amazing. I've told them this. We do shows all over the country. This is my favorite theater to work with. It's my favorite show of the year. Please give the Hammer Theater a hand. I'd like to thank our volunteers who help make tonight possible. So Marco Arment is up in the sound booth. I know from my experience Monday night, Marco is very sweaty. So just stay up there till we clear out, and we'll be good. And also, our friend Spencer is here. Spencer's behind the scenes of a lot of our events in California. An amazing human being. I made the joke earlier that he's the nicest guy on the internet, but he's not on Twitter, so he's the nicest guy off the internet. Sorry, Gray. But Spencer's our photographer tonight, so if you see images we're sharing, they came from him. And thank you, seriously. But
you.
Me?
Yeah. Stephen.
Did I get another Mac Pro? They gave me a computer the other night.
I didn't get you anything. He does an amazing amount of work to put these things together. And I'm very proud of him. Thank you for making this happen again.
You bet.
We have a live show coming up in San Francisco in August.
We do. So this year, believe it or not, Relay FM turns 5 years old. You gonna cry? Mike's gonna cry. Back up a second. 5 years ago at WWDC is when we decided to do this thing. We've been talking about it. We talked to guys like Jason and some other people about our idea. And Mike came to Memphis after WWDC, and we did the original sort of beginnings of the company at my house in Memphis 5 years ago. And if you had told us then where Relay would be now, we would not have believed you. And it's not because of us. As great as Mike is, and as great as Federico used to be, and all of our hosts, every talented person that's on Relay, none of that would matter if no one listened. And from the bottom of our collective heart at Relay FM, thank you for listening for the last 5 years. We literally would not be here without you, so thank you.
I can't say anything.
You're just crying?
What am I going to be like in August?
We're going to have to mop you off the stage. So we will be in San Francisco in August for our 5th anniversary show. We're going to have a lot of hosts there. So if you're in the area, we'd love to see you. But seriously, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in to Connected every week. If you don't do that anymore, I understand.
I can't.
You can't listen anymore?
No. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
We'll see you around San Jose. Thank you.